Well, apparently the kitty really wanted to go today. Bummer. We'll have to get Kitty back eventually. See, I got the magical kitty call. Magical kitty call. He'll be back. Well, greetings, everybody. Sorry it didn't have much kitty cam, but we had as much as we could. As much as we could. How's everybody doing this Saturday afternoon? It's Saturday afternoon where I am. I don't know what time it is where you are, but greetings. We're going to be talking today about, is it practical to replace big tech in your life? I got my little note card here. Yeah, goodies. And let's see who is online right now. We got Cookie is first. Hello, hello. Charles Erickson, greetings, good morning. Truce Faction, hello there. What's up, homies? The Infidel has arrived. Greetings, Mr. Infidel. Or Mrs. Infidel. I don't know. Are you Mr. or Mrs. Infidel? Q1 Fiend, hello there. How's it going there? Quentin Libert, hello. Thumbs up for the kitty. Jesse Crypto, greetings. Ooh, Jesse, I'd like some of your input on some of these things we're going to talk about today. Let's see. Sherrod, how's it going there? What do you do a job or something? Do I do a job or something? I am a web developer, and I work entirely from home. So I always work. I never work. You know, one of those two. 11:30 where you are. All right, so it's still the morning where you are. Good. It is the afternoon where I are. Never mind the kitty. Yeah, the kitty call. Kitty just didn't want to hang out, I guess. Oh, well. Hello, Loopy. Greetings, Sarah. Jordan, greetings. Marcel, hello to you. Well, should we wait for a few more folks? We'll wait for a few more folks to jump on, since my kitty cam lasted a lot shorter than it usually does. So I did decide on what we're going to do with the calculate, because I've been mulling this over. I definitely want to get Arch off the main system, or off the distro hopping system. Just I want to get something else tried out. I do want to run calculate as a trial, but I don't want to run it on that computer, simply because that computer is hard to get to, and to install calculate is going to mean I need to pull all the drives and install it directly on that machine, because one of the downsides of the Gen 2, which is an upside and a downside. The upside is that it is very, very streamlined, very stable. The downside is it's not at all portable like most Linux is. It's going to install specifically to the system specs. And so that causes complications installing it on that computer. If I wanted to keep it on there permanently on an internal hard drive, absolutely, we'll be all over it. But that's not my intention. My intention is just to give it a test, give it a trial. So what we're actually going to do with that is I'm just going to put it on one of the drives in the IC dock on my main production computer, and I'll just do a few projects on it to give it a test. I'll connect it to everything I usually do, and who knows, maybe I'll use that time to bounce around and play around with some other stuff on the other computer for a little bit. So I'll be taking thoughts about which distro I should run on the distro hopping computer. I will do a calculate on this one here, just so I don't have to go through all the mess of taking that out. One of the things about Gen 2 is it's very good, but it's also very time consuming. And that's not the heart of this channel. This channel is to teach you how to get your real work done with open source software, not how to spend all your time getting one operating system together when there's thousands of other options in the same family. That's kind of my take. So there's definitely pros and definitely cons for it. So depending on what you're looking at. So with that, that's kind of what my plan is going to be for calculate. Jordan Davis, hello. I think I said hi to you already though, didn't I? I don't know. Got the cup of caffeine juice. Got my caffeine juice right here. Go to shop.switchedtolinux.com if you want a Switch to Linux coffee cup. You're halfway around the world from you. All right, must be in Australia or somewhere close to there. Replace big tech Google, even turned off the Google Assistants. What's my view? Yes, we will get into my view. F-Droid. Brave Browser. All right. Hello, peoples. Greetings, Michelle. How's it going there? De-Googling my cell. And take a look at Fedora Deepin next week. Ooh, nice. Yeah, the new Fedora, they still don't have Budgie, but they have Deepin and Pantheon. Just kind of crazy. I think Pantheon kind of sucks. But I don't know. That's my thought. Y'all are welcome to disagree. All right, so we're going to be looking at, is it practical to replace big tech in your life? Hopefully I don't lose my voice. I've been starting production on a new audiobook, and I'm about halfway through. I'm hoping to finish it by the end of the weekend, but we'll see. I don't know. Welcome back to Switched to Linux. So today we're going to be looking at this question. Is it practical to replace big tech in your life with free and open source software? And the question kind of started, I pulled out a few different articles to look at random shows this week. And one of these actually comes from the 23rd, and this was Mr. Tim Apple himself. So Tim Cook says the tech needs to be regulated or it could cause great damage to society. This is an interesting take, and it's definitely one of these things that a lot of technology moves so fast and legislature moves so slow that the tech sector has kind of become a wild west and do whatever you can do because there are no laws. And here in the United States, there have to be laws on the books to be tried for abusing something. And when morality and ethics goes out the wayside, yeah, we have a problem. Now, the first time we started to see these types of debates was actually in the entertainment industry. Around the turn of the 1800s to 1900s, Thomas Jefferson had created the first video camera, and at that time, gambling on prize fights was illegal everywhere except Nevada. And so there was a very famous, it's a Fitzgerald fight. I forget who the other guy was. And I think it was in 1898. And it was done in Carson City because, of course, gambling was legal. But then it raised this question that Thomas Edison shows up with a video camera and records. Like, he breaks multiple different things with his film. It was the longest ever film of the time. It was the only film shot in widescreen at the time. And there was one other thing about it. But he creates the video camera, records this, and now we have a problem that we have a fight that was legal where it was, but it's possible to be ported other places. And so Maine acted first and enabled legislation that banned showing the fight. And other states got into this, and then what ended up happening is all sorts of states had independent laws about what types of films could be displayed, and it was causing this giant mess for production companies, and they decided to band together and form one group, which is now the NPAA or NAP, whatever it is, Motion Picture Association of America, MPAA, formed out of all those groups to have one association so that the films didn't have to get approval for multiple boards. There was one national board that was created that as long as your film fell under that, it would be legal in any given state. And that's kind of what ends up happening is when some new technology arises, it kind of becomes the Wild West until legislation catches on. Now, back in that day, I mean, Maine acted fast. They acted within 3 days of the fight. I mean, back then, you couldn't get the video from Nevada to Maine in less than 3 days. I mean, we're still talking horse and buggies, all right? So they had some time. I mean, I guess the wire got to them. They're like, oh, this is coming, man. It's coming. We got to ban it from the state. Our whole state's going to go to hell because a prize fight will be shown. I don't know. Is called slippery slope much? I don't know. But regardless, it is fascinating history, and this discussion raises these same points. And ultimately, it's down to data privacy. Of course, Apple is trying to become the chief of data privacy, which is kind of at the hilt in the middle of the fight between the iFixit, Apple, and Louis Rossmann saga, because Apple keeps on taking down posts when people are saying, no, you can actually recover data off of a device. And there's some good points out there that say, oh, well, if it's possible to do that, then Apple's not as private as they were hoping. And so this raises kind of these questions. Why are we talking about all this when our discussion is it practical to replace big tech? We are getting there. Hold tight. So what's happening here is that regardless whether we're talking about privacy or biometrics or just data collection in general, we have this current present issue that the tech is out there and it is becoming so integrated that you can barely function in society without a Google account or a Facebook account. And that's a scary thing because you have to agree to terms of services to use these things. You got your kids going to school. They're either these days required to either have a Google account or a Microsoft account. And what if I come in and say, no, I don't really want my kid to have a Google or Microsoft account? What is your teaching plan otherwise? Well, I don't know. I mean, we have to. So you're forcing me to send my kids to school. You're forcing my kids to accept terms and conditions, but they don't have a choice in the matter. This doesn't make sense. So it begs this question, is it possible to replace the big tech in your life? Is it possible to replace Google? Is it possible to replace Facebook? Is it possible to replace all of these different services? And there's places where you do it yes, there's places you do it no. Of course, we're doing this on a YouTube live stream, and I do get still the random comments like, oh yeah, you're talking about all this stuff, sure, on YouTube, blah, blah, blah. Dude, shut up, all right? We have addressed this in so many places. So many places, so many ways. Okay, here's the bottom line. If you want to talk about de-Googling your life, what we're talking about is your personal life. Do you have an Android phone that you have allowed every Google service on this thing to constantly collect everything? Are you syncing all of your text messages, all of your pictures, all of your life to the cloud? Are you allowing it to track your location? Are you allowing it to do all these things? That's what we're talking about. For a business perspective, to get information out there, we need to use some of the platforms. The question is, do you use it in an appropriate way? There is no Google connection on my phone. It runs a completely custom ROM. I have all location stuff stripped out of it. I use Firefox Clar through a Tor node, which doesn't even have the ability to use the GPS. It doesn't have the ability to use the microphone. Doesn't have the ability to use the camera based on the packages they put into it. That's why it's the best browser for security and privacy on a phone. And so with that, I use all free and open source services. I do not connect any Google Play services or any of those types of things. So we're using these types of services, like I'll use Google for the purpose of doing a video. It is on a separate isolated computer that is not in any other way connected to my life. That's the thing we're talking about. All right. But for your personal life, is it possible to do this? Even for your business life, is it possible to do this? In many instances, the answer is yes. There are things that we can do about it. Now, is it always practical? This raises the questions as we get into the practicality of it. And so for me, one of the things that I look to is I use those big services as seldomly as possible. Now, as a web developer, yes, my web development company has a Google account, because if you're a web developer and you don't have a Google account for analytics and Search Console, you're probably a little irrelevant, which is a very unfortunate thing. But what about web servers? What about your email? What about your infrastructure? What about your invoicing? These are all things that we can do it. But it all boils down to this. Why are so many people on these platforms? It actually kind of comes down to an addiction matter. We rely on it out of convenience and out of addiction. We so tie to it. We so sit there and attach ourselves and allow the simplicity of the system to overtake us. All right. Now, there's places where simplicity needs to be used. So as one good example, I use A2 hosting, which I have an affiliate link you can look at down below. I use this for my websites, my clients' websites. And there was actually a really great video you should watch on Chris Titus Tech's channel, where he's talking about, people use these expensive servers, but really you could do everything with Google Cloud. And it's a great video and it's a great service. The problem is you kind of need to be a sysadmin to use it. Okay, you're going to have to get in there and manage. Not only do you need to be a sysadmin to use it and to set up a website, you also need to be a sysadmin to manage the security and all these types of things. And that's not, you don't want to put all this stuff out there in an insecure place. You're going to end up leaking all your data like you're doing it in an S3 colander. Okay, why do all these S3 colanders from AWS keep leaking? It's not because the service is bad. It's because the people don't know what they're doing with it. And if you dive into it not knowing what you're doing and you're like, I want to get up a website, so I'm going to use the free Google service. If you don't know what, if you don't know what SecMod is, you probably don't need to be running any type of server on a command root which doesn't have background security. So the reason we use hosts that do this is I pay the extra for the host so that I can A, get cPanel because it greatly reduces my overhead of managing the server, and B, it gives me an extra measure of security that I don't have to deal with. Now, I will absolutely encourage you to take the time to learn how to use it and use those services and watch his video and learn how to do it, but learn how to do it right by setting up the security, by getting everything set up. But your average person can't necessarily do that. And I had to stop and question, is this practical from the standpoint of this channel, which is to teach you how to get your real work done? And I say with free and open source services, it's mostly true. Of course, I use cPanel, which is not necessarily a free and open source software, but it is a good software, and there are free and open source alternatives to it, but they're not as streamlined for what I need, which is at times a client of mine needs to be able to get into their control panel as well. So I need to have something that has a lot of usability from that standpoint. And so with that being said, it's this balance between what we can reasonably do, what we can reasonably learn, and what conveniences we're willing to give up. All right. So I love this hosting company as far as setting everything up and as far as the management is good. I've had very few problems with them. They're generally good at getting the issues and problems resolved. That's pretty cool. All right. But what are the other services that we can replace? Well, one of those that I talk about a lot is Nextcloud. So Nextcloud is a great way that you can replace literally the majority of your Google services, your Dropbox services. A lot of these types of features can all be replaced inside of Nextcloud. I use this for co-authoring books. I have a cloud that I control, and I've just given my co-authors access to a cloud. They have their own server space. They can do their own stuff on there. And we can sync and link and share all those things. I have a space set up so my clients, as I always getting people like, oh, here's Dropbox link. And it's like, you go there to download the files. Oh, sign into your Dropbox account. And then I have to go back and tell them, you need to disable the sign up because I'm not using Dropbox. It is not a company I will do business with in any way, shape, or form. And then there's like, how do you do that? It's a setting, dude. Toggle the setting box off. I'm just like, you know what? Go to this link, upload the file. They're uploading to my Nextcloud. I have a link on my Nextcloud server. I can email it to the client, and the client can upload a server. They go right there. They click the button. They grab the file, and it's there. Completely replaces Dropbox in my business. Completely. All right. I, of course, can sync my calendars and my contacts. That's where my calendars and contacts sync to for my phone and stuff. It all goes into that kind of stuff there. And it gives me full control because this isn't something that's on their servers. This is something that's on my servers, end-to-end encrypted on a server that I am the only one with the root access control to. And so it's possible. Now, is it practical that everybody's going to set up Nextcloud? Probably not, unfortunately. But it is definitely something that if you need this type of service, please take the time to learn it. Watch the tutorials, experiment with it, try it with non-critical stuff first. Nextcloud is actually fairly easy to manage. And I have tutorials about how to set this up on a cPanel account to make everything easy across the board. And then I'm working on tutorials right now on all of the different functions and features of Nextcloud. So this is one of the services. Now, thanks to XVC, whoever you happen to be, sent me information on the Freedom Box. This is actually something I'm going to be looking at in the future. So Freedom Box Foundation created a little box that's designed to sit at home and replace a lot of your different services. All right. So what this thing is trying to do, let me go to the download page. Now you can buy a box that already has one running, and there's a variety of different things you can get with it. But you can get with this a file sharing like Dropbox, a WhatsApp type system, which I think might be pretty cool to look into, a VPN server, a privacy enhancing proxy server. So my guess is something like a Pi-hole, a web host like a blog or a wiki, syncing your calendars and your contacts. They're still working on email. They don't have an email server. Not that it won't work. It's just that they haven't gotten it user-friendly. This thing is supposed to be very user-friendly. So I want to grab this and start experimenting with it a little bit. It will run on the newer, higher-end Raspberry Pis and several other devices. Again, I want to see if this is something that is viable. Now, I have a slight concern about this, and this is that I don't like a lot of these services constantly available from your home network. This raises an extra issue unless you're setting that network on a separate subnet from the rest of your network. This poses some issues. And so I personally use my Nextcloud and other things on an offsite server for this very reason. But when I need to, I do have a VPN with an overkill 4 kilobit encryption code to get into it. I have my own VPN, but that is only on if I'm going to be out of my office for an extended period of time. It's the only reason I use it. Otherwise, I don't like external things coming into my home network. And that's what this is designed for, is to put on your home network, to have all of these services on your home network. I'm a little concerned about that, but I want to play with it. I want to see if is it really viable. Now, most of these servers and services you can actually use on AWS. You can actually use on DigitalOcean. You could go back to A2host and get one of these $5 VPS hosting accounts and do all the same stuff on this. So is it practical to replace all of these services? It's a yes and it's a no. The challenge is that we balance between expenses and expertise. Okay, if you have the expertise, your costs go down. All right, I have just organized my publishing company as an LLC, and I don't have the upfront cost of a few $1,000s for a website because I have the expertise to build a website because I've been a web developer for the last 15 years. All right, so I don't have to go through that cost. If I did not have that expertise, I'd have to be looking at forking out a lot of money for a website for that endeavor. And this is kind of the case. Now, the thing is that don't be lazy. Take the time to learn how to do these things. It is amazing that these services and these technologies do. And I'm not going to be doing a bunch of tutorials about how to get all of the, all of your root command line stuff going. Like I said, go check out Chris Titus Tech's channel. He has a great tutorial on using the Google servers not too long ago. Go check that one out. Because that has a lot of useful information about how to set all that up. I'm not sure I'd use it personally on a Google, but it's going to be the same method for AWS, for DigitalOcean, for Google, probably Azure as well. SkySilk is another new one that does the same thing. So there's these services are out there. There are a lot, but they do take some command line and some sysadmin skills to use effectively. All right. Is it possible? Yes. Is it practical? Maybe. What's the major challenge? The difference is your expertise. Take the time to learn new technologies. Set yourself a goal this year of learning new technologies. Learn to replace some of these things. I think that this Freedom Box just looks like an amazing device. Like I said, you can buy one that's already set up, or you can download it and put it on a variety of different types of devices. Consult their page for more information. It is based on Debian if you are curious. So that is my take here. Is it practical? Yes and no. It really depends on your desire to learn, maybe your ability to learn, and your desire to get off of the addiction and onto actually doing real work. That is the truth. So Freedom Box. Have a look at Freedom Box. Let me drop the link for you guys down here in the chat, and I'll go ahead and put that in the description for the video as well. So let me know what you think. Have you used FreedomBox? Have you used Nextcloud? What's your experiences? What is your biggest challenge to prevent you from getting big tech out of your personal life? And what steps and what tutorials can we do to help you in that endeavor? Let us know in the comments down below. Once again, you can support the channel having a look at the links above or in the description down below, and follow along on the social media if you'd like more reliable updates as to when videos come out. So thanks for watching, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux. All right, let's see. So Jesse, my question for you. What are your thoughts on hosting your own sites and servers and stuff on your own network? Do you find that a challenge or not a challenge? Let me know what you think. All right, let's see. Replace big tech. Okay, F-Droid. Let's see. I think I've ever been down to there. Anna Rita, greetings. Anna Rita, I'm halfway done with the audiobook on the new book. I may or may not finish it by the end of the weekend. I don't know yet. Where's the kitty cam? Kitty ran off. Kitty, where'd you go? Kitty call. Kitty call. Kitty call. Actually do data recovery on Apple devices. Very good. Yeah, so I mean, Mark will definitely confirm that if you don't have an iCloud backup, I mean, you can't get your data off. Yeah, we believe you, Apple. We believe you. Hello, Pizza from Linux Fest. Pizza, see if FreedomBox has a booth there. See if they do. And if they do, interview them. That would be awesome. Tutuanoa instead of Gmail. Never heard of that one. Let's have a gander. Secure email servers. That's what that one is. All right, secure email for everybody. See, the thing is that I prefer using my own email on my own web host, because like if my web host goes crazy, I've actually had the same email addresses carried across 3 different web hosts, because web hosts do go crazy. And so it's very easy if it's all on cPanel. Another reason I use cPanel, pick up the copy, transfer it over, done, easy. So there's another one though. So if you're curious and looking for another option, I've never heard of them, but go check them out. I have an Android phone, but every service, Google, which I can, is stopped. Store 2, Samsung browser with AdGuard, sometimes using Chrome because he can translate web pages. Yep, there you go. That's a good use for it. Considering a cPanel license for my server, CWP is a bit bugged on an account migration. Playing with OwnCloud, going to try out Nextcloud though. Yeah, Nextcloud I think is a little bit more polished. Parents taught me to not depend on anyone or anything, and those teachings now apply to my tech and services. Absolutely. Done for you mini home server. That's what it appears to be. Yeah, done for you mini home server. Okay, so you can download a stable, a testing, and a nightly. And let's see if there is... I don't know. Let's go back to that download page and see what we got. All right, so there's this. Here's a micro. So here's a stable free. Oh, here's an AMD 64. So this would actually be something neat to try on my NAS computer or NAS-like computer, something like that. Quemu. Oh, there's a VirtualBox edition. We're gonna grab the VirtualBox. Oh yeah. It's an image though. Stable. Well, let's see what's it actually downloading. That looks like a VDI. That's a VirtualBox device, isn't it? Oh, a 32-bit. 32-bit there. QB track. Oh, a Raspberry... Ooh, I have a Raspberry Pi 2. Let's download a Raspberry Pi 2. Yeah. I don't think we're going to boot these up today, but we'll have a look at them anyway. Maybe I'll do some videos on Freedom Box. That sounds fun. Should I do videos on Freedom Box? Loopy's going to be right back. All right. Agree, for most people, it's not practical to replace everything with FOSS. For those who have time and skills, it's certainly doable. Yes. Can't fully get rid of Google Drive and Gmail yet, as the college you used uses G Suite. Isn't that sad? It's a pain, but a challenge. I agree. Yep. Now, if you're only hosting like a single site, not a lot of media, it's pretty easy. You have multiple services and want to expose SSH, FTP, mail to the public. It's for techies only. Yep. Proton Mail is good. Yep. I'll have to look up iPad Rehab and Louis Rossmann to find that Apple are full of it. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely, Sparky. All right. Forgot to buy yet another gift card by the first book. So busy these days. The bath date with the book. All right. Yes, indeed. You would want to be surprised how many phones I get in for data recovery. I get at least 2 per week, sometimes more. Just recovered over 10,000 photos on an iPhone 10. Wow. Installing Android in a VirtualBox today. I have to do a video today about how some crypto scam software that's not getting installed on my phone. Yes, virtual disk image. Let me see. Did those both download? They both downloaded. Let's have a look at what we got. This is what we got. All right. Tails. No. Oh, there's Freedom Box Stable. Okay, there's the Raspberry Pi. Okay. Let's see if I can remember how to install a virtual machine device, VDI. Virtual disk image. A little concerning that the latest release of the Freedom Box is 2017, though. Oh, yeah, you are right. You are right about that. Okay, so in March they had Freedom Box kits in March. Pardon me. All right. Okay. Yeah, you know, they have things going back indicating something in March, but nothing since then. So, but yeah, that's definitely interesting. Let's have a look at the announcement. Okay, so they're announcing Freedom Box kits, stable Freedom Box images. March 24th, Free Software Foundation's annual Libre Planet. Let me come back over here. This is March 26th, so just about a month ago. Parting with Freedom Homebox Home Server Kits. So here you can grab this box here, which is in US. Yeah, okay. It's key. There's the US. Okay. So yeah, I don't know. That's definitely something to look into. So let's see if this is done yet. Okay, VirtualBox. Yeah, I might have to look up how to... Okay, let's go ahead and... yeah, I'll have to set that up later. That's going to take some time to set up. All right, let's go back to our comment feed and look at this. All right. Wife is shopping as we speak. Let me give her a call. All right. Are actively... So I'm wondering if you were to download the daily builds, you might get something newer from that. Let's go back. Let's go back. Yeah, actually on the nightly builds, we have the Pi 3, Pi 3B Plus. So yeah, I'm guessing the nightlies are gonna have the newer ones. So maybe it's a bit, well, maybe it's 2017 because it's based on Debian. You know, Debian moves about as fast as a glacier, so that's probably the case. All right, let's go ahead and yeah, I'll have to take some time to set up a VirtualBox to give it a try, but yeah, maybe I'll have a look at that and see what it looks like. Off to do stuff. Adios, Mr. Banana Man. Eat yourself a banana. All right, let's see if there's anything else we needed to cover. I don't think there's anything else I needed. So I guess what we might do is we might just go ahead and end the stream early, which is good because I have a pile of work to do on that new book, and I want to get it out to the distributors as soon as I possibly can. So thanks for coming along, everybody. I will go ahead and release the edited version of this very shortly, and after that, then we will be back on... I'll have a video then. We may or may not have a video on Monday and or Tuesday. I don't know yet. It's a weird schedule this week. But we'll stay up on the social media posts and we will get that figured out. Let's see if I can get a kitty in here. Kitty, kitty. Kitty, kitty. I think I hear a pitter-patter of paws. Kitty, kitty. Hi. Want some of these? Come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah, we got a kitty. We's got a kitty. Oh boy. Go on. Stick your face in there. Stick your paw in there. Stick something in there. Did you get one? Yeah. Here you go, buddy. And one more for this camera over here. Oh, are the finger looking good? They are finger looking good, aren't they? We drank, huh? All right. Yeah, you missed most of it. I was going to wrap this guy up pretty quickly here, but I will have the edited version up, or you can rewind it and watch the whole thing. All right. Do a video installing Android to VBox at the same. Get two birds done at once. There you go. There you go. All right. Hello, human. Feed me. Uh-oh. CJ, the sexy beast on the net. Yeah, that's you, huh? That's you. Death Panther installed. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We will catch you all later.